Once again, there you have it. Autobots, payouts, and reinvest. Bitconnect, let's go. My Jedi Knight keep stacking the crypto. Oh.
Autobots, transform.
And we are back. Autobots, payout, reinvest. What's going on, YouTube? Steam it. Jedi Knight back with another video. And I know it's been a couple of days. My last video was the Bitconnect Community Network podcast this past Saturday with Dapper. Awesome topics, awesome conversation and engagement with you guys in the live cast. My apologies. Every few years I get something called cluster headaches during the winter season. And this winter, I just so happen to get them. I've been dealing with them for about 5 or 6 days now. And anybody who knows, cluster headaches, it's a terrible situation. But outside of, not being able to do videos, I was able to at least, speak to everyone continuously via email. So anybody who did contact me, I was able to, speak with you guys there. But with that said, lending wallet, $1,937.26. Nothing, well, almost nothing in my Bitconnect wallet, nothing in my Bitcoin wallet. My active investment is $102,260. I have yet to get a capital release, but that should be in February. I think my first capital release will be in February. But with that said, let's go to the Lend Bitconnect tab. Go to the volatility software interest. And today is it's a low day. It's a 0.11%. We do have a great bounce back tomorrow, 1.50%. Yesterday we had an okay day at 0.48%. Before that is 0.98, 1.46, and then a 0.42 to round out the week. The last 30 days we've been averaging a 0.84%. The last 6 months the rate of interest is a 0.94%. And the last 7 days, it's still above a 0.8 which it's hovering at currently 0.85%. The daily interest chart for the last month, the real-time interest chart, and we are currently at a 0.92% because Bitcoin is continuously going down in price. Ever since it touched 20,000 on CoinMarketCap as well as a couple of exchanges, it has really lost, position. It's, lost over $3,000 in value. And, this is the volatility to the downside, which, I've stated in respects to having something like a Bitconnect account can, act as a hedge. When the price of Bitcoin goes down, you're able to gain profits on Bitconnect via your loans. So let's go down to the Bitcoin price volatility, and we can see that after it had that epic rise to over $19,000, it began to retrace a bit. Yesterday it had, a really big fall, and today it seems like we're kind of on the same trend. But one Bitcoin is $16,971.30. 2 months ago, we was around 5,000. So even at this price point right here, it is still phenomenal what Bitcoin has done. One Bitconnect coin is $373. This has also retraced. I seen it as high as $450. I believe that was about 2 or 3 days ago. And once it hit that point, it began to retrace just like Bitcoin has retraced. So we're currently at 373. And if folks think that we still have more room to go to the upside, that maybe this $373 price is a nice entry point. But with that said, let's get to what you came for. Let's reload the page first, see if there's any more money that came in. And a couple of dollars did. So what we're going to do is we're going to reinvest from the lending wallet. So let's click on the reinvest tab, and we are going to reinvest everything. And that will be $1,930. We're going to do a reinvest. That will be a capital release after 239 days. I get the bonus 0.1% interest rate, and then I'm going to confirm in order to reach that success. Gotta love that success. So let's close out. Let's go and reload Bitconnect page. And our new active investment is $104,190. And again, once we get our capital release in February, that will be an awesome episode. I know that I've reached my goal of 100,000. That was my personal goal. That did not mean that I was not going to continue to utilize Bitconnect and submit loans. It just means that I met a personal goal of mine. So Bitconnect has put me in a position to, further my goals. I guess my next goal will be 200,000. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, with that said, on to the topic. As we all know, there have been a lot of skeptics, a lot of people who've been critical of Bitconnect. One of the things that I like to do is, instead of engaging people's opinion, what I like to do is to explore the facts of the matter. And if people are drawing conclusions based on incorrect information, what I like to do is clarify the information, give them the right piece of information in order for them to make a much clearer personal decision on what Bitconnect is as a platform and as a coin. A few days ago, on December 13, 2017, the Motley Fool released this article, Rule Breaker's Guide to Cryptocurrencies Part 2, What is Bitconnect? What I'm going to do is I'm going to read through this, and then I'm going to tell you what I did, all right? So let me actually make this bigger. One thing that I can say that I like is that I've been in Bitconnect now for 7 months. If an article like this came out in June or July, it would have made its rounds all throughout the Bitconnect community. But because Bitconnect has had months after months, days after days of continuous success, being here, not exit scamming, like all of these other platforms that don't have blockchain, don't have a cryptocurrency, have a structure that is sustainable, and they have done well in the face of adversity, such as with glitches and the forking of Bitcoin multiple times, so on and so forth. When we have articles like this that come out, we tend not to hear about it anymore. And now what has occurred is we have gone from the position of trying to damage control to now simply trying to clarify the information for those folks who may not know or understand Bitconnect to have the correct information to indeed understand it. And this is, in my opinion, a trajectory of leaving the space of skepticism and concern and possible, scamming to one of, okay, this is just a new means of dealing with cryptocurrency and or blockchain. And that's really cool to see, but let me go through this. In this Rule Breakers podcast, Motley Fool co-founder David Gardner recruited Fool analyst Aaron Bush to help with Cryptocurrencies 101. Turns out that a fair number of his listeners wanted more. So this week, with Bitcoin trading at more than twice the level it was for the previous episode, he brought Aaron back for a more advanced encore. In this segment, they responded to a listener who was concerned that the Bitconnect platform is a Ponzi scheme. And in their view, this fool is no fool to think so. A full transcript follows this video. Well, I tried to click on this video, but it seems not to work. So, David Gardner, M. Stewart writes about Bitconnect. I know you've done some homework here, Aaron, and it's interesting. So you'll share a story with us in a sec. But M. Stewart wrote, thank you for broadcasting a most informative call. Here's a question I would love to see addressed. There's quite a buzz surrounding Bitconnect. All right, we're going to skip all of this and we're going to get down to the actual info, which starts here. There's quite a buzz surrounding Bitconnect, M. Stewart writes. What can you tell us about the role it plays within the ecosystem? I assess it to be a Ponzi scheme. Aaron Bush responds, and I think you are right, because I also assess it to be a Ponzi scheme, and that's not something I say lightly. Gardner, okay, so 5 points to M. Stewart for ferreting out a Ponzi scheme. Aaron, what did you find when you looked further into Bitconnect? Now, I want you to see what Mr. Aaron Bush allegedly found when he decided to evaluate what Bitconnect was, okay? He says, right, so Bitconnect is a Bitcoin lending platform with so-called guarantee returns. How it works is that people trade their valuable Bitcoins in for Bitconnect tokens. So now he's trying to make a differentiation between what is valuable and what isn't, right? Though Bitconnect is a multi-billion-dollar cryptocurrency, I would assume that this is valuable. And then as they hold their Bitconnect, they get paid interest in Bitcoin. So let me go back and let's read this again. How it works is that people trade their valuable Bitcoins in for Bitconnect tokens, and then as they hold their Bitconnect, they get paid interest in Bitcoin. Now we all know that us who use the Bitconnect platform, this is incorrect, right? I'm gonna let go of the so-called guarantee returns only because he didn't give a nominal figure, but we do get returns on the daily, right? So I'm gonna let that go and I'm gonna let that fly. However, when you trade or exchange your Bitcoins for Bitconnect tokens, based on the fact that you have to use it on the platform has a value, right? And when you hold your Bitconnect coins, you don't get paid interest in Bitcoin. You don't get paid interest in Bitcoin by holding Bitconnect coins. If you hold Bitconnect coins, you're able to stake Bitconnect coins, right? If you don't stake Bitconnect coins, then all you're doing is holding the coin and you're being exposed to the volatility of its market, right? Whether to the upside or the downside in terms of value. But if you submit a loan, is what I'm thinking that Mr. Bush is trying to say. If you submit a loan, you don't get paid interest in Bitcoin. You get a dollar valuation, and through that dollar valuation, you must transfer that dollar valuation into Bitconnect coins. So you're not getting paid interest in Bitcoin. Bitconnect does not pay people in Bitcoin. They give you the opportunity to transfer or exchange your Bitconnect coins for Bitcoin on their proprietary exchange, as well as third-party exchanges that allows you to trade Bitconnect coins for other altcoins or Bitcoin. But they don't pay you in Bitcoin. And this is my issue when people, state that they can access something as being a Ponzi scheme, yet this is something that they don't say lightly. And then in their very next statement, everything that they're talking about that they're basically concluding is a Ponzi scheme based on the information that they're saying is absolutely incorrect. Yet because of this incorrect information, they're concluding that something is a Ponzi scheme. It's a possibility that it could be a Ponzi scheme if they're paying back interest in a coin that they don't have control of, which would be Bitcoin. But that's not the case. They're paying back something that they have control of, which are Bitconnect coins. It's their coin, right? But of course, anybody who's been following my channel, I've said these things 1,000 times. But let's continue. And so, two things I immediately take issue with. First of all, those Bitconnect tokens are pre-mined. Well, I'm not sure if Mr. Bush is stating that every last one of the coins are pre-mined, because we have something called the Blockchain Explorer that have shown people mine, in respects to proof of work, they've mined Bitconnect coins. Secondly, we have things called tokens, right? And tokens are different from coins. So if you have an ERC20 token, those tokens are basically pre-mined because you cannot mine ERC20 tokens because they're part of the Ethereum blockchain. The only coin on the Ethereum blockchain that you can mine are Ethereum coins, right? Any of their tokens that are associated with Ethereum's blockchain, you can't mine. So technically, all of those coins are pre-mined, right? So this is not a situation that is new. And secondly, when we have ICOs issue coins that are basically pre-mined. Bitconnect had an ICO. It doesn't mean that all 20-something thousand of their coins were pre-mined, because obviously once they went public, we were able to physically mine the coins via proof of work. So I would like to know maybe more specifically what Mr. Bush was talking about in terms of Bitconnect tokens being pre-mined. This was a very general statement, and in specifics, it's not true. We had proof of work up to the 262,800 block that was found. After that, we went to proof of stake. They don't have miners. Well, they did have miners, right? They don't have miners now because they've transferred from a proof of work / proof of stake model to solely a proof of stake model. Instead, they're owned by the team. Well, it's their coins. So, we have plenty of developers or creators of coins that hold their own coins. Charles Lee, the developer of Litecoin, held his coins. I think he just recently sold his coins, right? And he sold them at a very nice price. But nobody has a problem with that when it comes to Litecoin. Or, Vitalik, I would assume, holds Ethereum coins, right? So there are plenty of folks who have created coins that have held the coin. But, we should not dismiss where Bitconnect was as a coin, which it is not a token. We should not dismiss where it was as a coin when it was 16 cents in January, and where it's at today when it's $373 per coin. And so when you trade your Bitcoin for Bitconnect coins, you've just given Bitcoin to the team, essentially. Not the greatest incentive model. Well, it depends on what you're looking to do with your Bitcoin. You can give your Bitcoin to anyone for a trade, right? Like, I'm not seeing what the problem is here when you decide that you're going to utilize your Bitcoin to get a particular service, which Bitconnect provides a service and it has not failed in its service, right? And also, when you give your Bitcoin, we must not forget that you get something back in return, right? You get Bitconnect coins. And through those Bitconnect coins, you don't have to submit a loan. You can stake those coins. There are various things that you can do within the Bitconnect platform or with the coin itself. That should be stated in this, but it's not, right? And second, the Bitcoin that you receive, before I skip that, when you exchange your Bitcoin for Bitconnect coins, you do that with the community that are within Bitconnect. Not every single Bitcoin goes to like the creators or the controllers of Bitconnect's platform or coin. When I have Bitconnect coins and I'm trying to sell my Bitconnect coins for Bitcoin, I'm selling my Bitconnect coins to someone on the opposite end trying to retrieve Bitconnect coins with their Bitcoin in order to either stake, to hold, or submit loans. That's the fact of the matter, right? But let's continue. And second, the Bitcoin that you receive in interest is really just taking back fractional pieces of what you just gave them. Where's the proof in this? This is what I mean when I talk about people stating or issuing allegations without proofs or at least evidence. They make these allegations without evidence. Where's the evidence of this? Let's see in this statement here if this individual provides evidence. And the system where people can make more interest in Bitcoin than they initially put in, which really is their value proposition, that only works as long as new people are joining the network and they're giving more Bitcoin in exchange for Bitconnect tokens. Bitconnect are not tokens, they're coins. Bitconnect does not give you Bitcoin in payment or in interest. They give you back a dollar valuation, which you then transfer into Bitconnect coins. So none of this here is accurate. So the conclusion so far is based on information that anyone who is using Bitconnect knows is not accurate, right? And as soon as people stop doing that, the whole thing falls apart. Well, if anybody stops using a particular service in, cryptocurrency, the blockchain, it will fall apart. Name me a platform or service right now where if the community didn't support it, it would just continuously function and be successful. There is none, right? It means that there is no use case any longer for the people who it tried to, promote its service to. If everybody on Steemit decided one day that they don't want to use Steemit anymore, then Steemit will be deemed useless. and then it can go away into the ether of uselessness. It's not because Steemit is a scam. It's because, like anything, if people don't use it, then there is no value to it. So if you put it in this, sort of situation, sure, of course, it wouldn't work. There are no people to make it work. But it doesn't mean that because you remove people. The bottom line is this: people are using the platform. People are exchanging their Bitcoins with other people within the community to access Bitconnect coins to either stake, hold, or submit loans. Bitconnect does not issue interest in Bitcoin. They give you a dollar valuation, which you ultimately transfer into Bitconnect coins, and then you can either hold those Bitconnect coins or you can exchange them on an exchange for Bitcoin. That is what is occurring here. They're not putting themselves in a position to establish a Ponzi. What they've done was they've created a coin that, through the structure of their platform, requires you to enter into, on both ends, to either submit a loan going in onto the platform to utilize the platform, or once you're exiting the platform, it requires you to use the Bitconnect coins. So through their structure, it establishes a value. Once people see the value of the coin, then through that they can do other things with it, such as exchange that for other coins, hold it for future use, or to speculate, trade with, so on and so forth. Stake, plethora of things that you can do with these coins. But let's continue. And it could be a while until that happens because people are pretty hyped about it, and I think regulators so far have been pretty slow to touch this. To me, it seems like a pretty clear Ponzi scheme. That's funny, because it doesn't seem pretty clear to me. My opinion, though. And I'm still waiting to see people give these allegations, when they assume these particular things about what Bitconnect is allegedly doing. I would love to see evidence to back that up. And I think that the responsible thing to do is, if that's your hunch, if that's your assumption, but you have zero facts, zero evidence, zero proofs, you should not say that and issue this as some sort of thing that you've seen through your evaluation of a platform. I think that's irresponsible. But Gartner response, that's obviously, on the one hand, very disappointing and disturbing. And I'm glad that you called it out. I'm glad that M. Stewart called it out. And then on the other hand, here we are even talking about it. I mean, in a sense, we're kind of giving some publicity to it. And that's part of what happens with scams, is that they need to get people aware of the possibility and the opportunity in order to sucker them. Well, number one, Mr. Gardner, I thank you for your time to, publicize this, because then that gave me the opportunity to then speak on this article and give my 2 cents to it to my subscribers. So we're definitely not doing that here. I'm glad that we've received this note. I'm glad that you looked into it further, Aaron. I'm hoping that the average person could see this on their own and not participate. How easy is it to create a Ponzi scheme through cryptocurrency? Well, who are the average people, who are the experts, and who are the unaverage individuals? Because when you say that the average person, it sounds to me like the individuals who are talking about average individuals seem to be a bit above average. And if this Mr. Bush individual is above average, then why is this information that he is releasing in regards to what he has found through his evaluation, his due diligence of Bitconnect, why is this information incorrect? That's what I would like to know. Because I'm an average person that started out the same way an average person would, which was doing due diligence, doing research, and then once I was able to establish a conclusion based on my research and due diligence, I put money into the platform. And I haven't had a day where I've been scammed. Not a day. And of course, scams don't scam people until they scam. But my point is, in respects to the structure, when you understand the structure, it makes sense. This is not one of those, websites where you put your Bitcoin in and you have no idea how they generate returns. If you look at Bitconnect, you can tell how they generate returns. They tell you. They have a volatility software and a trading bot, and they trade on a Bitcoin exchange. Now, people will say, well, technically you haven't seen the trading bot, and this is very true. But if they're giving you an average, because people have also stated that this 1% on average is what indicates the Ponzi scheme because it's way too high. But if Bitconnect is trading on a platform that has made as high as a 21-fold return in a calendar year, and all they're doing is giving you 3.5 times return trading on that market that has gone up 21-fold, then how is that ridiculous? So, to try to conclude here, this is what I did. I went to the help and I went to the contact us, and I actually wrote Motley Fool, and I told them that, look, I read the article, and based on the information that was expressed within that article, I would like to correct some things in order for you guys to have a clear understanding of what Bitconnect is, because there were certain things that were clearly wrong, which was allegedly research on this platform. And 6 days ago, as you can see, I got the response, which was an automated response saying, hello, fellow investor. Thank you for emailing Motley Fool. Our member services team is focused on giving you the best response possible within 1 to 2 business days. I'm not going to have to read the rest of this because it's all generic. Bottom line is 6 days have passed and I have not heard a response from Motley Fool. And it's not like I want to have like this crazy interview or back and forth. I didn't even want to change their viewpoint on Bitconnect. I told them that in the response that I did within the contact us. I clearly stated that all I wanted to do was clarify some of the inconsistencies and what was incorrect based on what was in the article. It's been 6 days and I have not received a response, and usually they state that they get back to their individuals within 1 to 2 business days. I have not received the word. So what I want to do is I want to, put this video out there for those who may have come across this Motley Fool article and may have had some questions or concerns, but to show that someone who is using the platform that was willing to offer their time to clarify some things on how Bitconnect works has reached out to Motley Fool, and they had an automated system that stated that they would get back to me within 1 to 2 business days, and it's been a week and I have not heard a thing. Until next video, ladies and gents, keep earning that crypto because that's always the point. Jedi Knight out.